Good evening and welcome to today's class. We'll continue our discussion on working capital management. Uh, some part we had covered in previous two classes. This is our third class on that subject. I'm going for screen sharing. Wait a minute. Screen will be
So I
visible.
have
Yeah, what you're saying, you please repeat what you wanted to say.
एक doubt था.
In this chapter, working capital management.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me what is your doubt.
Sir, in current investment condition, there is the current asset should be realized in one operating cycle, and another condition should be realized in 12 months.
Yeah.
So, if in case the operating cycle is more than 12 months, in that case, how can we recognize
Wait,
the
wait a minute. So that is your question. So let me go back to those conditions which are provided in the Schedule 3 to the Companies Act 2013. Okay. So
yes, sir.
let us go back. Let us review that thing. So that is of course an important issue, that how to take these conditions. Okay. So this is the condition you see. That is about Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013 describes that
Yes,
how
sir.
to decide a particular asset as a current asset. Okay. So as you can see it very well. So what it says from the very top sentence you see, and you have one particular word is appearing in red color font. What is this word?
Okay. That is any.
Any. The moment it is any,
Yes,
that
sir.
means what?
Yes, yes,
Any
sir.
of these conditions are met, then that is a current asset. And if it is not met, there is a non-current asset.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is clearly says any of these
Yes,
following criteria. Right. So your point is one of the criteria is that it is expected to be realized or intended for sale or consumption
yes, sir.
in normal operating cycle. That is one of the criteria. Or normal operating cycle can be 8 hours, can be 8 years also.
Yes.
Is it not? That's possible. Or there is one more condition is that what is that condition? Expected to be realized within 12
Well,
months after the reporting date.
yes, sir.
If that is so, then also it is an current asset.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is also a current asset
Yes,
if
sir.
it is expected to be realized 12 months from the reporting date. Reporting date means the date for which
Yes,
we prepare the financial statement. Okay, so let us say you take an example. Let us say someone is preparing a particular product where operating cycle, let us say, is 5 years. Fine. So he buys
yes,
some
sir.
kind of raw material, and finally, when he realizes money from the data, so it takes 5 years. This is the kind of raw material. Okay,
Yes,
some of these products are there, or some you can take an extreme example. Sometimes I gave it. There is a product called as vintage wine. That wine takes roughly around 25 years to be produced. That means the
yes, sir.
operating cycle of that product is 25 years. That means what is sold today that must have introduced in the production process 25 years back. Are you
Yes,
getting?
sir.
So operating
Yes,
cycle
sir.
is 25 years. But the product which is there today, let us say today there is an inventory. There is some product, some vintage wine bottles are there, these products are. They're expected to be realized within 12 months.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? Even if operating cycle is 25 years, so all those items, maybe raw material, maybe WIP, all these items will be classified as current asset, not non-current asset. So you cannot take the plea that you see operating cycle is 25 years. So what we will do, I will recognize all the products are non-current asset. Okay. Uh, Because the life is more than, you can say the production cycle itself is 25 years. So the finished product inventory should be taken as non-current asset. So these kind of arguments will not be accepted. So inventory will be treated as a current asset.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear to you? Okay, but your doubt is valid. Many times these questions, many people are doubtful on this, but that's good that you ask this question. Okay. Very
Sir,
well.
another
Yeah,
one more
another
doubt
doubt.
is
Yeah,
there.
please tell me quickly.
Sir, there is a line that when working capital is more, the fund have a cost. How the fund how
Working
can
capital is more, but farm has a
fund have a cost?
where it is written. Huh. I couldn't understand what exactly you are saying. When working capital is more, then I'm unable to hear you. Please ask the question again.
Sir, there is a line that when working capital is more, that more fund have a cost.
More fund have a cost. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
funds has got a cost. Financing cost is there. Then
सर मैं पूछ रही हूँ कि कैसे फॉन्ट का कैसे कॉस्ट हो सकता है?
fund का कैसे cost है? Yeah.
यस सर.
Huh, fund has got a cost. You know, cost of capital. What is that? You studied a chapter cost of capital. So when you need money as a working capital, it has got a cost. Okay. And when you keep money or when you give some cash, give some raw material, give something in the inventory. So actually what happens, funds are blocked. So when funds are blocked, you are sacrificing the return which could be generated out of that fund. What kind of return could have been generated?
यस सर. सर
Okay.
लेकिन यहाँ पे तो रिटर्न कम हो रहा है, लेकिन कैसे कॉस्ट कैसे हो रहा है?
जो return come, right? That is the cost.
ओके सर.
The return is less. Suppose the same thing is not same thing could have been converted into non-current asset. And you know this concept, non-current assets earn income, generate return.
यस.
Okay. Current assets are something like idle asset kind of thing that is required to run the business. Current assets are essential, but non-current assets gives more return. So if you are keeping more current asset in the form of working capital, what you are doing actually you are sacrificing return and that is the cost. Therefore, the challenge in working capital management is to manage the business with less working capital. Okay, understood up to this?
यस सर.
Okay. Any other query you have?
नो सर.
Okay, fine. So now, friends, we have understood what is working capital. At least we have understood this is like what is gross working capital, what is net working capital. All these concepts we have understood. Now we are entering into the process of estimation of working capital. So there are broadly you can say three methods. One is operating cycle method. You have understood what is operating cycle. That definition is also there in the Schedule 3 to the Companies Act 2013. Not exactly definition, the description is there. What is operating cycle? I had told you in your beginning class, initial classes. So through operating cycle, we will be able to estimate the working capital. Once we know this is the operating cycle, this is the length of that operating cycle in days, in months, or in years. Then we need to know to maintain that cycle how much working capital is required. Understood? That
यस
is
सर.
called as operating cycle method. So we need to estimate the length of operating cycle. Accordingly, we will find out how much current asset required to maintain to in that operating cycle. Another method is called as the ratio of sales method. Here, what happens? There are, you see, there are various components of working capital. Is it not? Can you
यस
tell
सर.
me some of the components of working capital? Just tell me what are the components of working capital quickly.
रॉ मटेरियल्स वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस
Raw materials,
डेटर.
work in progress, inventory, etc. Here it is assumed that all these things has got a relationship with sales. They are directly related to the sales. That means you can say for this much of sales, this should be the raw material. You can say for let us say sales of 1 lakh, this much of amount sale, that 10% of the sales should be raw material or 5% of the sales should be raw material at any point of time. Similarly, debtor should be a certain percentage. So like this, each component of the working capital is understood to have a kind of relationship with the sales accordingly. With the help of a ratio of sales, we will be able to compute various components and once components are known, we will be able to compute working capital. Understood this point?
यस सर.
Okay, suppose let us say sales is 1 lakh rupees, then maybe raw material 5% of that, that's 5,000. Maybe debtors 2% of that, that means 2,000. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Maybe like this, it will be computed. Similarly, one more method is the ratio of investment method. We'll see how much is the total investment in fixed assets. And every item is computed with the help of a ratio of that item to the fixed investment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us say total investment is 1 lakh. Maybe we'll say debtor will be 5% of that investment, or inventory will be 3% of that investment. So like this, we'll be able to compute various components of working capital.
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so that first method we have seen, one method is the operating cycle method. Here, what is required is that we have to compute the operating cycle. We have to estimate the working capital. And what is operating cycle? You know, earlier
Yes,
we
sir.
know. So it is the length of time between the companies paying for material, converting into stock, and receiving cash from sale of finished goods. It starts when the company starts paying cash for raw material, and finally it ends when company realizes money from its debtors. Okay, is it not?
Yes,
So
yes,
different
sir.
point, different time is required. Let us say for acquiring raw material, then for converting raw material into WIP, then from converting WIP to finished goods, then selling finished goods to debtors, then realizing cash from the debtors. Okay,
Yes, sir.
right? Different times are required. So let us say the company holds raw material on an average of 60 days. That means 60 days he has to keep raw material. It gets credit from the suppliers for 15 days. Production process itself takes 15 days. Finished goods are held for 30 days, and 30 days are credit are extended to the debtors. That means debtor will be paying us again 30 days after 30 days. So if you add
Yes, sir.
all these days, we will be getting working capital cycle. But here one thing is that there is a credit period. Our supplier is also giving us a credit of 15 days. That's it, 15 days shall be reduced. Okay, raw material I am acquiring in 60 days, but I am getting 15 days credit.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting? So that credit has to be
Yes,
reduced. So how we'll be able to compute this working capital cycle? We'll add the number of days required at each stage of the cycle. Suppose let me show you this is the cycle. Let us say here some days are required from paying cash to raw material. For converting cash to raw material, some time will be required or not,
yes,
is
sir.
it not? So let us say this is 60
Yes,
days. Then from converting raw material to labor, some days for converting this raw material to WIP, some time will be required.
yes, sir.
Okay. Then for converting WIP to stock, some time is required. For converting stock to debtor, some time is required. For conversion of the debtors again into cash, some time is required. Every stage, some time is required. So if I add this time period, this period, this period, this period, this period, and this period, then what I'll be getting? I'll be getting the entire length of working capital cycle. Okay,
Yes,
that should get. But here one thing happens. You can say that is a kind of length of the gross cycle, gross working capital cycle. But thing is that I can pay cash, it will be converted into raw material, let us say 60 days. But it is also possible to buy raw material on credit. That means I can pay after 15 days. I'm saying, let us say, normal time required to acquire raw material is 60 days, but payment can be made after 15 days. So that 15 days credit allowed to me, that has to be netted off. Therefore, that is to be deducted from this cycle, from the gross working capital cycle. This credit period for acquiring raw material needs to be deducted so that we can arrive at the net working capital cycle. Understood this point?
yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So we need to determine this working capital. So that will determine this length of this operating cycle, because that will help us in forecasting the amount of working capital. So we can use this formula to compute working capital cycle. R plus W plus F plus D minus C. I think you'll be able to understand what is R.
R is raw material storage.
You can say raw material conversion time. Right. This is,
Yes,
you can say WIP holding time. This is
yes, sir.
again finished goods holding period. Okay. The
This
debtors
is
collection period
yes, sir.
minus creditors
Credit.
holding period. So if I
Yes, sir.
use this formula, I'll be able to compute operating cycle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So We'll try to do that. We'll try to compute operating cycle. So this chart also you try to understand. So working capital means current asset, and the cash is the most liquid asset we have. We need cash to make payments to suppliers for raw material and workers for wages and all. We need payment. And after this payment is made, goods are produced and goods are sold, and finally cash is realized. This cycle needs to be maintained. Okay, if by chance cash is not there, the new cash needs to be injected. That is
Yes,
the
sir.
concept.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we'll see one by one how to compute these various components of working capital cycle. Right? So first we'll be able to compute the R. R is raw material
Raw material.
storage period. Right? Can you read it? Any one of you can read what is the formula for this? How we'll be able to compute this raw material storage period?
Average stock of raw material divided by average cost of raw material consumption per day.
Okay, so we'll find out what is the average stock of raw material. That means on an average in our factory, how much raw material is kept. Let us say raw material average stock of raw material is worth, let us say, you can say, 3 lakh. Okay, let's say average on an any time you can find out the stock of raw material is worth 3 lakh rupees. And average cost of raw material consumption per day. So you have to see per day how much of raw material we are consuming. So let us say every day we are consuming raw material worth 50,000.
Yes, sir.
Right? Every day worth 50,000 rupees I am consuming raw material. And on an average, how much is the stock? 3 lakh
3
rupees.
lakh.
So what is the raw material storage period?
3 lakh divided by 50,000.
3 lakh divided by 50,000. So how much?
6.
So that is 6 days is the raw material storage period. Okay. That means if I don't buy any raw material, whatever raw material I am having, it is going to be exhausted in 6 days. Is it done? It will be finished in 6 days. So
Yes,
every day I will consume 50,000 worth raw material, then 3 lakhs will be consumed in 6 days.
yes, sir.
Okay. So on an average, whatever raw material is kept, here assumption is that that will be consumed in 6 days. So on an average, 6 days raw material is kept. Right.
Yes,
At any point
yes,
of time, we keep raw material for 6 days requirement. So that is what we call it as the raw material storage period. So any raw material will be kept for 6 days. Okay. Similarly, work in progress holding period, that is also called as production period.
product.
How it is to be consumed? Average work in progress inventory. On an average, how much of work in progress is kept in the factory? We have to see that. Then average cost of production per day. By dividing this thing, average cost of production, we have to find out this much of work in progress can be
Yes,
can remain in work in progress for how many days. That is our work in progress holding period.
yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, finished goods storage period. We'll find out average stock of finished goods divided by cost of goods sold. This cost of goods sold, average cost of goods sold. That means if I divide this thing, I will be able to compute that this finished goods will remain as finished goods for how many days. That will call that finished goods storage period. Okay. Similarly, debtors collection period.
Yes,
I will be computing average book debts or average debtors divided by average credit sale. Suppose average debtors are 1 lakh rupees, but average daily credit sale is 10,000. That means the debtors holding period is 10 days. Is it not? So I have to keep 10 days debtors. Every day I will be selling 10,000 rupees. So in 10 days I will be keeping 1 lakh rupees. Okay. Then
sir, and
credit.
only
Yeah.
normal debtor same.
Yeah. Please ask your question.
Sir, I am asking that book debtor and normal debtor same thing.
Book debtors means debtors, trade debtors, book debts. Here I am referring to the trade debt. There might be other kind of debtors. Let us say someone has purchased your fixed assets. He's also a debtor, but he's not a book debtor. He's not a trade debtor. He's a different kind of debtor. Okay. So book debt means, here I am referring to book debt means the debtor who has purchased goods, who has purchased goods or availed some kind of services from the company. But let us say somebody has purchased a fixed asset and has not paid. He is also a debtor, but he is not a trade debtor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, how to compute this credit collection period? Average trade creditors divided by
Credit purchase per day.
average credit purchase per day. Good. Okay. So these are the 5 items. We have
Yes,
compute
sir.
each items. Then next formula is that by using this formula, we'll be able to compute what is the working capital cycle. Now, once again, I'm repeating that formula uh, in a different way. I'm explaining that formula. But before going to that formula, I am showing you the structure of a cost sheet. That is also important, so that you'll be able to understand what is the meaning of this cost of sales. So you might have seen this. You might be knowing what is cost sheet. Have you studied the cost sheet concept in your cost accounting subject?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this will show how uh, this is the exactly the cost structure. How we arrive at the cost. Let's say direct material, direct labor, direct expenses are added up. We get the prime cost. Then factory overheads are added up. We get the works cost. Then admin overheads are added up. We get the cost of sales. And then selling and distribution overheads are added up. We get sorry. So when admins are added, we get the cost of goods sold. Then when selling and distribution overheads are added, we get the cost of sales. That means when I say cost of sales, it includes all these kinds of costs, right? Prime cost, all these overheads, including selling and distribution overhead. Cost of sales means everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this concept you keep in the mind, so that will be helpful. I wanted you to understand what is the meaning of cost of sales. Cost of sales means it includes, you see, all these costs. Direct expenses as well as overheads are included.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got the meaning of cost of sales? Now, just now I told you various formulas how to compute it. Now we'll be learning how to compute this average stock or average cost of goods sold. All these things we'll be learning now. Another set of formula I am telling you. Right, almost related to the previous formula. First formula is meant for, can you read it? What is one, item number one?
Raw material storage period.
So first we are going to compute what is raw material storage period. How to compute? Step one is average
An
consumption of raw material. Average consumption means, sorry, what is the first one?
annual
Annual consumption
consumption.
of raw material. So in a year, how much of raw material you consume?
Yes,
That
sir.
you need to arrive at. Okay. Then we will be computing. What is the second point? Second thing we are going to compute.
Daily consumption
So our annual consumption we got. Then daily consumption is first
divided
point
by.
divided by 360.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here it is assumed. In this chapter, it is assumed the year has got 360 days. So we got daily consumption. Third step, we are calculating average stock of raw material. What is average stock? Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? So on an average, this much of stock I am maintaining, and my daily consumption is this much. So what is raw material storage period? C by B. This is average stock divided by daily consumption. So that is the number of days I am getting.
Yes, sir.
Understood the point?
Yes, sir.
All of you? Both of you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next point is that WIP storage period. This is the second one. Here what we'll do,
Yes.
first we'll find out annual cost of production. What is annual cost of production? Opening WIP plus conversion cost minus closing WIP. So I will be getting annual cost of production. In a year, that will be my cost of production. Then I will be computing daily cost of production by dividing point A into 360. This is annual, this is daily cost of production. Then I will be finding out what is average WIP. Opening WIP plus closing
Closing WIP.
WIP divided by 2.
Two.
My average consumption period is C by D.
C by.
C by B. This is average, this is daily. So how many days WIP I am keeping, I'll be able to compute by using this formula. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Next. Third stage is that finished goods storage period I am going to compute. So for finished goods, what I have to do? I have to calculate average cost of sales. Right? Cost of sales, cost of sales includes all these things: selling and distribution expenses, administration expenses, everything is included. That's why I was showing
Yes,
you
sir.
the cost.
Prime
So what we'll do? How to compute annual cost of sales? This is the formula. Read this formula.
opening stock of finished goods plus uh,
Cost of production,
cost of product
production cost
plus
plus excise
yes, sir.
duty, excise duty in some products are still applicable with GST, even if with GST excise duty has been abolished in the most of the products, but still there are some products on which excise duty is there, like petroleum product, alcohols, all these items, excise duties are there. So excise duty, if it is there, it has to be added plus
Selling and distribution cost
selling and
plus
distribution cost plus
administration cost
administration cost plus financial cost like interest, etc., minus closing finished
plus
goods.
unit.
Okay, then I will be
Yes,
getting annual cost of sales. The daily
yes, sir.
cost of sales is divided by 360,
60.
right? Then average stock of finished goods, opening stock plus closing stock of finished goods divided by 2.
Yes, sir.
So finished goods holding period is C by B,
So I book.
right? Got it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Fourth item is average collection period. Similarly, I am finding out annual credit sales, then average daily collection. If this is the credit sale that will be collected in a year, so daily collections is A divided by 360.
It's 60.
Average balance of debtors, opening debtors plus closing debtors divided by 2. So average
Yes, sir.
collection period. So this is average balance. This much of the debtors I maintain on an average, but daily I collect this much. So I maintain debtors for how many days? CYB.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is the average collection period. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Point 5 is average payment period. Here I have to compute annual credit purchase. The daily credit purchase is A divided by 360.
It's 60.
Then average balance of creditors is opening balance plus closing balance divided by 2. Then average payment period is C by B in
Yes,
number
sir.
of days.
Number
Think,
of days.
right? So if data is available, so we can compute all these item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 items we have understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can watch this video later on and try to understand this formula. No need to remember this formula. Just try to understand. If you rationalize the formula and you are able to understand, then without remembering also you can develop this formula and you can solve the questions easily. Right? So try to understand it without remembering. Understand the steps, it will be helpful. Now gross
Yes, sir.
working capital cycle is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and net working capital cycle is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 minus 5.
That's 5.
Okay, understood? But
Yes, sir.
I expect all of you should be able to understand that formula. Okay, you will watch this video repeatedly and try to understand this formula. That is more important. If we have understood this, now here we have to solve a question now. Without question, without that kind of practice, it will be difficult to digest this formula at this stage. So, are you ready? We will be solving a question now.
Yes, sir.
So, pen, paper, calculator, everything is ready with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, keep it ready. And once Meghna, ready with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now let us read this question. Some of you please read this question. Then I'll be helping you to solve this question. I'll be telling you in a particular manner in which we are going to solve this question. Now please read the question first.
From the following information, you are required to calculate net operating cycle period and number of operating cycle in a year.
Yeah. So two things are asked. Net operating cycle period, entire period you have to calculate. Then in a year, how many operating cycles are there? That also we have to compute. Okay. Now continue further.
Raw material inventory consumed during the year, rupees 6 lakh.
Yeah.
Average stock of raw material rupees 50,000. Cost of
Right.
production for the year rupees 5 lakh.
Mhm,
Average work in progress inventory rupees 30,000.
mhm.
Cost of goods sold rupees 8 lakh.
Right.
Average finished good stock held rupees 40,000.
Right.
Average collection period from debtors 45 days.
Okay.
Average credit period availed 30 days. Number of day in a year 360 days.
360. Okay, we'll be solving this question. Now, what I'm requesting you quickly, quickly you do one thing. This portion, ये जो नीचे जो table में this portion which are there in the table, quickly copy it down. Very briefly you copy. Okay, just like raw material in year 6 lakh. Very quickly you copy. It will help us to solve the question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, quickly copy these figures. These amounts should be there before you, so that we'll be able to solve the question. Do it fast.
Yes, sir. It is done.
It is done.
Yes, sir. No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, you complete first. Huh? I will be helping you to solve this question. All this formula we have learned. Now we'll apply. We are going to apply that formula.
It is done, sir.
Done. Okay. Now we'll be finding out operating cycle. How we'll be doing you? I am helping you. We'll be writing in a tabular manner. You don't write, just you will do rough calculation. Later on, you can solve it at home. First, we will computing raw material storage period. Right? What is
Yes,
the
sir.
raw material storage period formula? Average stock of raw material divided by average cost of raw material consumption per day.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now you have this data with you. Now try to give me the answer. What is average stock of raw material divided by average cost of raw material consumption per day? Give me the answer.
Well,
Got it?
yes, sir.
What is the answer?
12 days.
You see, this should be the answer. Average stock of raw material 50,000, all of you have done correctly.
Yes, sir.
Then average cost of raw material consumption per day. What is raw material consumption per day? Annual consumption is 6 lakh
Yes, sir.
and per day consumption 6 lakh divided by 360, how much? Are you seeing this part? 1667.
Yes, sir.
So raw material storage period is how many days? 30 days.
30 days.
Okay. Now both of you are arriving at 30 days now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now next question. Next issue is that WIP holding period. And formula is given to you. Average work in progress inventory divided by average cost of production per day. If annual cost of production is given, so you have to find out what is the per day cost of production and tell me the answer.
Okay.
Got the answer?
Sir, 1 minute. Sir, 21.
Okay, 22 days, maybe some decimal mistakes will be there.
21.5.
You got this 30,000 divided by
Yes,
1388?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
sir.
Third, finished goods storage period we are computing. Average stock of finished goods divided by average cost of goods sold per day.
It is coming 18.
18 days, correct. Good. You see, in this question, there may be several multiple questions. Is it not? Multiple choice type of questions.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is debtors collection period? That is 4. And we know operating cycle is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 minus 5. Net operating cycle. What is debtors collection period? See if it is there in the question.
It is 45.
I don't know. You check. Should I
Yes,
show you
sir,
the
it is
answer? Yeah, 45 days. So total gross operating cycle, if you add it up, it will become 115 days. But to arrive at the net operating cycle, one thing has to be deducted. What is to be deducted?
Credit period.
credit period.
Average credit period. Now find out what is the average credit period.
30
See,
days.
It is
how many days?
30 days.
30.
30 days. Okay, reduce 30 days. So what is operating cycle?
Coming 85.
85 days.
85 days.
So number of operating cycles in a year? Please tell me.
360 days.
360 divided by 80.
360 divided by 85. So it
85 days.
comes to 4.24.
4.24. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now you could see this answer is correct. Fine.
Yes, sir.
You can see the answer later on. Okay. You can pause the video at any point of time. You can see these answers. But it is expected that you should be able to solve this kind of question. Very simple questions. You need to understand this formula, then you will be able to solve the question. Okay. Do you feel it as an easy question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you will be able to do it. Okay, try to do it with minimum writing, just like in C, this answer is presented in a tabular form. With minimum writing, we could able to solve the question. It saves time. You can do it. Right.
Yes.
Now, again, we are learning working capital requirement assessment. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then you see the assessment involves several steps, you can say. Calculation of average value of raw material. Now, just now what we have done, we computed the length of operating cycle. But we need to arrive at the in value what is the working capital required. Okay. Now calculation of average value of the raw material inventory, work in progress inventory, finished goods inventory we need to compute. Then what is the trade receivable we need to compute, that is one more component. What is the cash and cash equivalents or cash convertibles we need to compute. Trade payables we need to compute. If you are able to compute all these things, we will be able to compute working capital requirement. Is it not?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Right. So, in brief, if I show, this is exactly the steps in which we are going to compute value of the raw material stock, WIP stock, finished good stock. Then what is that? Read it out.
Trade
Trade
receivable.
Trade receivable. Then value of cash
Cash.
required. So you can say under current asset, all these things we need. This much of money is required. To run my business, all these things are required.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know, working capital is called as the blood in the business. It needs to circulate, just like blood flows in the body, working capital needs to circulate. Okay, so always raw material has to be converted in the finished WIP to finished goods to receivables, receivable to cash. So always there will be surplus. Fine. So to buy raw
Yes, sir.
material, you need cash. To keep work in progress, you need to cash. So for to do all these things, you need to cash. But some of this can be managed without cash also. For example, some raw material can be purchased on credit without cash. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So even if you need this much of cash or this much of current asset, but some of them can be obtained by credit. So therefore, these current liabilities need to be netted off. Let us say all these things taken together is 5 lakh. That means I need working capital 5 lakh. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
But let us say I can buy raw material on credit worth 1 lakh rupees. Then actually I can still run the business with 4 lakh. 5 lakh is not required because somebody is
Yes.
giving me credit for 1 lakh rupees. So therefore, these current liabilities will be reduced to find out what is the net working capital requirement. So trade payables can be deducted, a bank overdraft can be deducted, outstanding expenses which will be payable in subsequent time. So right now you don't require that thing. That can be deducted and you'll be getting all current liabilities can be deducted. You'll be getting total current liabilities. And finally, this difference of this thing, difference of A and B will be called as what?
Working capital.
Working capital. Understood this concept?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now challenge is to compute all these components. Working capital cycle we have computed, but we have to convert that cycle into values, into money term, in money, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, at this stage, we'll be learning one more little theoretical aspect, that what are the various sources of working capital. You know, working capital management involves two things. One is
Common.
uh, investment of working capital. Second
Yes.
is financing. Investment, you know, three kinds of working capital policies. Have you remembered these working capital policies?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Aggressive, conservative, and moderate policy.
And now we are looking at the financing part. How working capital can be financed? You know, there can be two kinds of working capital. One is permanent working capital, which is the minimum necessity. Always you should keep working capital at that level. Second is temporary working capital, which keeps on fluctuating, which is on the top of this permanent working capital, some additional working capital is required, that is temporary working capital.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? And the financing, how to manage this finance, different sources are there for different kind of working capital. First of all, if it is a permanent working capital, these are the primary sources. What is the first one?
Equity.
Equity.
Equity. Equity means owner's fund. The owner himself has to provide his capital. That is a long-term finance, and permanent working capital is a long-term requirement. So the equity is the primary source. Okay. And what is second item?
Debenture
Debt.
or bond.
Debenture and bond, both of them represents debt.
Debt.
So through long-term debt also permanent working capital can be financed. Third one,
Term
Term.
loan.
term loan is another source. We are talking about the long-term loan that can be also used as a source to finance permanent working capital. And fourth one,
Short-term borrowings.
short-term borrowings. Ideally, this is still a source, short-term borrowings, but ideally, these short-term borrowings should be used as short-term working capital. It is preferably, it should not be used as a permanent working capital, but still it is an option. Some business houses can still use short-term borrowings as permanent working capital, right? But it will be better if you make some permanent or long-term arrangement for permanent working capital, it will be better. Understood? But there
Yes,
is
sir.
a, okay. Ideally, it should not be used, but it is a source. In worst case, suppose there is no permanent source, no long-term source, then short-term borrowings can help in generating permanent working capital.
Sir, but generally, short-term borrowing coming under temporary working capital.
Generally,
Coming under temporary working capital.
which one? Short-term finance.
Yes, sir.
Yes, generally yes. Generally yes. Okay, but in exceptional circumstances, it can also be used as a permanent working capital.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and in that case, the finance manager, working capital manager has to take extra care because there is a permanent requirement of working capital, but source is temporary. Source is certain, is it not? So maybe temporarily for some time he can manage with this source, but later on he should try to minimize the use of this source and rather he should depend upon the other sources for permanent working capital. For temporary working capital, these are the sources. Can you read out these sources?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, read out.
First one is trade creditors.
Trade creditor you have understood. Okay,
Yes,
let
sir.
us, trade creditors means if you have purchased something on credit, you are creating a trade creditors.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? So that is a very good method of financing temporary working capital. because when you're selling, you are creating trade debtors. So if you can match the trade creditors and trade debtors, then that's a very good working capital management. You can leverage the relationship between trade debtors and trade creditors. So trade creditors is a good working capital financing source. The next one is
bank loan,
bank loan is another source. Third one is,
then commercial paper.
what is commercial paper? Do you know this? Any idea?
No, sir.
So you can
Sir,
say this
what
is a,
day-to-day,
yeah, tell me.
sir, commercial paper means where day-to-day transaction are recorded.
No, no, it is not like this. It is a kind of short-term borrowing instrument. A kind of promissory note kind of instrument is issued. Very short term, normally within 1 year period. It needs to mature. It is a promissory note issued by the company, and people will buy that commercial paper. It has got a fixed maturity, right? On that maturity date, it has to be paid back by the company. Suppose you have got a company, if you are issuing commercial paper, people will be buying that commercial paper, right? When they buy, you get that money, and this commercial paper will maturing on a fixed date. On fixed date, the principal as well as the interest part has to be paid. That is called as commercial paper. Only good corporates or the corporates which are having good credit rating can sell or can issue commercial papers. Okay, there are some controls over the issue of commercial paper. So with good credit rating, your company will be able to issue commercial paper. Understood what is commercial paper?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So depreciation is also as a source of working capital. So sometime back, some of you were asking how depreciation can be sourced. You see what exactly we do in depreciation. We treat in our financial statement, in the statement of profit and loss, we treat depreciation as an expenditure. But actually, there is no cash flow involved here. Cash is not going out, but still it is treated as an expenditure. So by doing so, what exactly we do, we create a fund for replacement of our asset. Isn't it? A fund is created. But till we replace the asset, till that time we can use that fund. Right? When replacement of assets are deferred and depreciation money is available as a fund, that fund can be used as working capital. So depreciation can be used as a source of working capital management. Understood this?
So once more.
You see, what is depreciation? By charging depreciation in my statement of profit and loss, I create a fund. I treat it as an expenditure, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
treat it as an expenditure without any cash flow. Cash, there is no cash outflow, but still it is treated as an expenditure. That means
Yes, sir.
I'm creating a fund. I'm accumulating fund. Why I'm accumulating? Let us say when the asset get fully depreciated, asset get, let us say, exhausted. So I'll be
Yes,
replacing that asset. But replacing will take some time. No, I'm deferring the replacement. It is not immediate requirement. After some years, it will be replaced.
yes, sir.
Isn't it? So till that time, I can use that depreciation fund.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, for the period of deferment of replacement of asset, I can use it as a fund. So therefore, depreciation can also be treated as a source of working capital management. A good working
सर
capital, yeah.
आएगा टैक्स फिक्स्ड एसेट रिप्लेस तब उसके लिए फोन कहाँ से आएगा
Sorry, फिर दोबारा पूछिए. I couldn't hear it. Repeat your question, please.
सर जब फिक्स्ड एसेट और पूरा डिप्रिसिएशन चार्ज होने के बाद अगर जब
When
फिक्स्ड
when
एसेट को
when
हम डिप्लॉय
yeah, when we are going to replace the fixed asset, then this will not used as a source. You see, this is used for temporary working capital. For a certain time, you are using it. Okay, once the temporary period is over, you don't need that working capital.
ओके सर
Okay, you don't need that working for temporary period. Let us say for 15 days you need some working capital. In 15 days you are not going to replace your asset, is it not? So you can use the depreciation fund. Fine. Then deferment of tax liability is another source. Okay, let us say company has got some tax liability. There are some due days by which you are supposed to pay tax, be it GST or be it advance tax, be it TDS. So all this at some fixed days, this money needs to be deposited. Right. If you defer that liability, so if you do not pay it at a particular date, you purposefully delay in making payment. So you can use that money, but you have to face the consequences. You might have to pay interest, you might have to pay penalties. So you have to calculate what is the cost of that interest, cost of penalties, and accordingly you can decide that tax liability can be deferred and money can be used as a working capital. That possibility is also there. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so by deferring tax liability also, working capital, temporary working capital can be managed. But again, it is not suggested, this is not a good method. So statutory liabilities needs to be paid off in appropriate time, in the exact time. But still, if there is no other go, then tax liability can be deferred and the consequences has to be faced by the organization and working capital can be managed. Then there are some miscellaneous sources also. Sometimes dealers deposit money with the company, right? Sometimes customers also give advance. They are also some sources of generation of working capital. Understood? Various sources of generation of working capital.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what is commercial paper? I had explained you, but if you want to understand exactly what is that, that explanation is there in this slide. So you can read it later on. It's a kind of promissory note with fixed maturity. Normal life is varies from 90 days to 180 days. It's a kind of unsecured instrument. There is no security. Okay, to meet the short-term finance requirements, companies issue this kind of commercial note. And for investor, this is a good short-term investment. So you can read this slide later on. Then, as you are asking, how depreciation can be used as a source of working capital. This also has been explained in this slide. I had told you, so you can read it later on. You can understand it. Okay. So
Yes,
then,
sir.
friends, one more concept is that working capital leverage. So I am keeping it for our next class, in fact. So today we'll stop here. Next class again we'll catch up. We'll be learning that thing. What is the concept of working capital leverage and other issues are also there. So we'll be learning it in that class. Right. So if you have any query, then next class you can ask me. Or right now, do you have any query?
No, sir.
So we are going to wind up right now. So next class again we'll catch up soon. So good that your exams are delayed now. So keep
Yes.
studying. Keep studying. We'll continue our classes like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.